being, how important is it to have a strong personal brand when networking?
Oh, critical, especially in today's digital world. Having a personal brand is really it's probably the most critical of any time in our recent history. And a personal brand, for everyone to know, it's your identity, and it's really distinguishing you from your competitors. So you need to really take the time and self-reflect to truly understand what that is.
How does somebody do that? How do they understand their own personal brand? What are some of the things that they can, when you say self-reflect, what are some of the questions they need to ask themselves to better identify their personal brand? Because I agree, we all have one. We may not be aware of it,
Mm-hmm.
but we do have one, and that's our reputation, first off. So what are some of the questions that someone should consider?
I would first look at what your values are, and then also take some time and look at what you have accomplished in your career, and put pen to paper, traditional way, and write down what you have achieved, your career wins, and take out of that consistent themes that you see that align, going back to your values, that make kind of create who you are. And also looking over your career history to see kind of your progression, and understand again kind of what has attracted you to these opportunities, and from that also the skills that you've gained, and kind of putting that together, and you can create a brand statement out of that. Another thing to do certainly is your elevator pitch, that you can then communicate in certainly in small groups, or on your LinkedIn profile, and certainly during an interview.
So when I hear, one of the things we teach businesses, that when we talk about people in their own career, they're thinking about, they need to be the CEO of their own career, right? So as a business owner, when we're consulting them on marketing, one of the questions I ask them, what are the top 10 questions people ask you, as a way to kind of define that. They don't have to really think hard about interior. They just have to think, when people are talking to them, what questions are they asking me? And when someone comes to your desk, for example, and just say, they ask you a question, just write down what that question is. And I think over a week, you'll find that there's common questions that they're asking you. And that becomes what you're known for, right? That's what you're known for, your brand, your reputation, and working with that. Have you looked at some of those techniques?
Yeah, certainly. I've when I'm consulting with clients, I like to get, as part of our engagement and as we're building out their quote unquote narrative and their personal brand, I love to find out from other individuals that are in their circle, or if performance reviews, or depending on the nature of their business, if there's been some client reviews, as well as and I'm gonna we'll speak to this later, but getting those LinkedIn recommendations are critical, because the more you get, and from a diverse audience, to your point, you're going to see those consistent themes throughout that speak to who you are and how other people view you and perceive you, and that will definitely assist with creating, as we said, the personal brand.
Yeah, I noticed that when you said know you, perceive you, that the perception is, how we see ourselves is one way, but how the world sees us is differently. And so that's very important to develop this personal brand. And I agree, 100% that a strong personal brand, being able to communicate it in an elevator pitch is very important. And technology is there to help you. And one of our partners is there, and we'll talk a little bit about them at a different time. But there's technology there to help you as well to build your personal brand and working there. So the next thing that I think about when it comes to networking is the next question, which we talked about,